Good morning, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are, you beautiful patriots. You, episode 4 of the Cat Cast. And I'll tell you what, I am just thrilled. It is Friday, and I need to introduce you to Blair White. I found her on Libs at TikTok, and one of my hashtags, a friend of mine, Leah, who is on uh, YouTube with me. I mean, not YouTube, Twitter. We started a couple rooms together, and we do our own hashtags. And I do have hashtag no for teachers unions because I believe they're one of the Marxist communist intersections that are just going after our children. So anyway, Blair White, she's going to let you see some teachers, and I'm going to see this for the first time with her, but she's doing the commentary. I'll just, let you watch, and if I have to blast in there, I will do that. So, introducing Blair White via Libs of TikTok.
Of grooming young kids to identify as LGBT themselves, which is a whole thing. I don't think that you can make a kid be LGBT, but I definitely think you can make a kid be confused about being LGBT. And at first, when I started getting requests to talk about this, I thought, okay, is this really that big of an issue? Is this something that's overblown, or what's going on here? But now I feel like I'm at the point where I can't even log onto social media without seeing some new, absolutely insane viral video of a teacher telling on themselves and just being an absolute clown.
Just drop something in the comment for me. Like, share, and subscribe too if you could. But let me know if you're seeing the same thing Miss Blair just said.
So now I agree. It's absolutely a problem. It's insane.
I agree.
And let me tell you that collecting these videos was insane. It was a whole thing. But if I had to see them, so do you. Let's go.
Hi, so I have a small dilemma. I am starting a new job on Monday, and it's a teaching job.
Are those samurai sword earrings?
Yeah,
I can't decide if that's really cool or like really annoying. Annoying.
So the kids are going to call me either Mr. or Mrs.
I don't even think they're earrings. They look like they're hanging off her glasses. I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing it right.
Jamie. It depends on what I want, but I, as a non-binary being, I don't know what to pick. I feel like Mrs. would be easier.
Non-binary being.
Easier for the kids, but Mr. makes me feel better. But I also kind of want to try mix, but I don't know if the kids can do that. I don't. And then
Is she not acting like a child? Look at her. I don't know what to do. And I don't want to be, my job's not to, I don't want to tease anybody, but absorb her actions.
what do they do when they ask me if I'm a boy or a girl? I'm not. I don't know.
Explain that it's young kids too.
It's young kids. My class is gonna be 4-year-olds, so I don't know.
What does she have, like her mom or girlfriend or wife in the background giving her, ways to or asking questions? What is that?
And then I don't know if I want to go by Jamie or Jamie Ray, because Jamie Ray is the name that I go by now. I don't know.
Girl, you don't know what name you want. You don't know what pronouns you want. Maybe you should hold off on fucking teaching. That's just so boring. Shouldn't she be expressing this amount of like stress or excitement or anxiety about like, how am I going to teach these kids? How am I going to live up to the very intense obligation of educating the youth and raising these 4-year-olds for 8 hours out of the day that they're
4
not gonna be
years
with their
old.
parents. But instead, you're such a narcissist that you're sitting here focusing on, what do I want these 4-year-olds to call me? What do I want these 4-year-olds to refer to me as? Girl, you're a narcissist.
I mean, 4 years old, I don't remember what I did when I was 4 years old. But blocks? Did I graduate to Lincoln Logs yet? Did I roll a car on the ground? 4 years old, man. I had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I would sit in my underwear and watch cartoons on a Saturday morning. Other than that, 4 years old. You should be learning how to pick a crayon up and see that it makes green when you see green. And that's the color, Green. Oh my God.
I don't know. Any advice would be great for any non-binary teachers.
SOS, save our ship.
SOS, SOC, save our captain. Thanks.
It's
Help.
really annoying. Okay, so this one is a teacher answering the question, what is your opinion as a teacher on students who want to be called a different name but say not to tell their parents? So let's see what this teacher has to say.
I never tell parents, period. on their survey at the beginning of the year when it asked for preferred name and pronouns, it also asked for what you want me to refer to as when I call home and what pronouns to use. So then I just make sure when I'm calling home, I use what they prefer when I call home. Even if someone told me I couldn't do that and I couldn't call them whatever they want or the pronouns they want without parent permission, I would still do it.
It's a problem that the teacher feels like they have the ability or the right to keep a secret from a kid's parents. And I know people of this political persuasion tend to believe that children belong more so to the state than they do the parents. That's a whole thing because they're so bent on collectivism. But at the same time,
that's another video.
It's deeply predatory is a strong word, so keep it in your peripheral, but maybe not like fully attach it to this scenario. But the word did come to mind when thinking, oh, so you're an adult who is keeping secrets about you and a kid's relationship, what you're calling a kid, and you're not telling the parent. At the very least, that's a problem.
It's a problem because, you know, when I dropped my 6, 7, 8-year-old off, I'm kind of expecting, which is probably the double-edged sword here now, but when I did it, I was expecting the teacher not only to do history, math, English, whatever, gym, but I wasn't looking for the teacher to be an influencer on sexual orientation, or if you feel like you're a tomboy and you want to run around and play football, that means you're going to be a boy. No, it's sacred dropping your child off. It's sacred that these people are in charge of your children. Think about it. You're working hours and hours a day, and they're in school. The teacher, if it's all day the same teacher, well, that could be 7 hours. But these teachers have 7 hours of very important parenting time that if you have to work and you can't homeschool, or you can't be a mom or dad that stays at home, you're trusting these people to not guide their mental well, you want them to guide what they need to learn in life to succeed for the next class, the next grade. You don't want them to be telling them what they should be feeling emotionally or sexually or gender, how they feel about their gender. That discussion should not be in a classroom, at least from 12th grade and under. I don't think that should be anywhere near there. If you can't vote yet, a teacher can't guide you on how you have to feel about this stuff.
You're a problem. If my kid was in school and expressing something about their gender or their sexuality, and any teacher felt like they were to keep that from me or hide that from me, I would be at that school whooping his or her or they's ass. I don't know what this person is.
Go, girl.
I would shut this school down if this teacher felt like they had any more right to information about my kid
We
than
need
I
more
do.
of you.
I'm
We
feeling
need
really
more of
bitchy
you.
today.
I'm a 4th grade teacher, and I do a lot of work with social justice and equity in my classroom. We have racialized conversations all the time.
I'm sure that's healthy.
Hannah Fandensteel am a racist. I am a product of the white dominant structure I was raised in. My people have done an excellent job lifting each other up. Unfortunately, that was on the backs of people of color. Because this is deeply embedded in my history, it is no wonder I was passed down views that are racially problematic. Even though white supremacy can be unconscious, it is constant. Living in this society would have been a miracle for me to be anything but racist. Now that I know I have deeply rooted racist tendencies, I can constantly be looking and listening for how they surface in my life. And when a person of color gives me feedback for not being a good ally, I can say thank you and not get defensive.
Who raised this? She's a child. She doesn't even look like she graduated college. Are you kidding me? This is nuts. I can't believe she's saying it. This is like memorized, or was she reading it? I don't know. But that's crazy. That doesn't equate anymore.
Something here I said could have been problematic because I'm always learning.
Why are your eyes like that? Are you on drugs? I like how people like this are just projections of what they really feel about themselves. It's like these people can't help but talk about how they are racist and how they're so problematic. It's like, speak for yourself. Why do you feel the need to speak for other people that look like you? Example, white people. Not everyone has these internal views. Not everyone has these senses of other races that you have just because you're so hyper focused on it. You're projecting what you are, which maybe you're racist, and feel free to speak your truth, Miss Girl, but don't speak anyone else's truth because you don't know if it is their truth.
That's 100% right on. And I will tell you this until I am blue in the face. The left are projectionists, and whatever they're doing, and especially if it's nefarious, whatever they're doing, they're telling everybody, pointing their finger at you, saying you're doing it, because it's deflecting, it's projecting, and they are brilliant at it. They are brilliant at it. If they're not, then you catch them. You know they're doing it. But right now, they're doing it right in mainstream media, right in front of us. I.e., look at Biden laughing at the woman who lost 2 children because of fentanyl on the border. Just saying. That's another video.
It's just really annoying. Because the reality is, when she's sitting there saying these things to her kids, she is putting it on her kids. For her to say this about her being white, that means she's saying the exact same thing back to her white kids, that they must feel this way as well. She's not presenting it as an opinion. She's not presenting it as a theory. You know, you're talking about yourself. So if you want to announce and confess your sins that you're a racist, go ahead, but don't speak for anyone else.
I am an out teacher at my school, out as both bisexual and trans, and a lot of other teachers on TikTok were wondering how I managed coming out to my students. And it's a really interesting story. So this was right before the pandemic. I came back to my school after being away from it for a while, during which time I transitioned. So none of the kids knew me as trans, but I wanted to talk about it. So what I did is, as soon as I came back, I joined up with the GSA, realized how many questions the kids had, and decided the best thing to do would be to host a Q&A. So the kids made up a whole bunch of flyers, and then one day during lunch, we hosted the tea talk. It was a triple entendre of T as in trans, T as in spilling the tea, and T as in we literally served them tea. It was great. It was a huge success. So many people showed up. We didn't have nearly enough tea for everyone. And I spent about 10 minutes talking about the difference between gender, sex, and sexual orientation, and then also talking about my own life story, sort of like the highlight.
And I'm sure everything that she said about gender, sex, sexuality was completely factual and based in science and not biased or part of her particular worldview at all. I'm sure it was not her opinion. It was all just facts, right? Totally objective, I'm sure. Now, this one isn't as bad as some other ones.
I'm going to see what GSA means. That's what I'm looking up right now. That one caught me off guard. And I don't think it is General Services Administration.gov. But I'll figure that. I'm thinking is it Gay Students Association? I don't know. I apologize.
Other than the fact that I do think it's a bit strange to come out to your students. I did have one gay teacher growing up, but the way that he handled it was like, he didn't handle it. He actually didn't tell anyone he was gay. He just, during school events where maybe it was appropriate to bring your spouse or whatever, he would bring his husband, and actually that might have been before gay marriage was legal, so his partner. And it wasn't a thing. Everyone just kind of knew, like, oh yeah, they're together. But like this whole announcing, like, I'm bisexual and I'm transgender. Like, how about you teach them how to read? Again, it's just the word narcissist comes to mind. Like, why do you think these kids need to know that you're bisexual? Why is it?
And of course, where the parent's job comes in, especially if they're just normal, active adults and good parents, child comes home and says, I was at the basketball game, Dad. The art teacher I had, my math teacher, Mr. Henderson. Yeah. Well, he walked into the gymnasium, and for a minute there, he was holding this guy's hand. What does that mean? And then the good dad will sit them down and just say, you know what? When you start becoming old enough to know if you fall in love or not, people, tend to fall in love with whoever they want to. And it's okay. It's okay to do that. And it's okay to be straight. It's okay to be black. It's okay to be gay. It's okay to be white. Everything's good. As long as there's love and transparency, everything's good. You don't have to have these people jumping on top of a car hood going, I'm gay and you hate me for it, and you don't even know it. Or they're jumping into a classroom, and 4th grade, you're going to sit there and bring up racial stuff and gender stuff, and it shouldn't be there. Maybe 11th or 12th grade even, I would be okay with, because I know it's coming and I'm okay with it. But when I drop that kid off and they're in 2nd grade, I would feel exactly like her. I digress.
Is it important?
Story time. This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator, and we have been rocking our Twos class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been fabulous.
Didn't she say preschool? I would be so pissed. First of all, a number of the things she just listed are things that if I was a parent, honey, I can't speak as a parent because I'm not, but if I was, I for damn sure would be teaching those things to my kid myself, because who the fuck are you? I don't know what your views on any of those things are for you to be telling my kids anything. And second of all, preschoolers can't read. Teach them to read.
But our teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our
The topic of gender and genitals came up with preschoolers.
You see what's on their minds. Not, the preschoolers aren't. They look down and go, that's, I gotta pee. I hope I can aim it right. You know, where's the battleships in the toilet so I can hit them? I mean, they're not even thinking anything else about that. Nothing. But they're sitting at a lunch table and that's what comes up. I don't want to say it's a fetish. I don't, because I believe you can love and be who you want to be. But if you're going to talk about it like that, that's nuts. That's actually, and I'm 54 years old, it's hard to even conceive. But I know it's happening. Me too.
You're a whole problem. Listen, I am not saying, because I know there's going to be someone in the comments, well, you know, preschoolers do know what their private parts are. Yeah, for sure. However, who are you to be talking about it with them, and what are you saying about it to them?
students plainly looked up and said, well,
Oh.
I'm a girl today. But
It was students. And you know what? Sometimes girls say, I'm a princess today. Or I'm even Robin Hood. It doesn't matter. They're just children.
I know that teacher Co isn't. No, they're envy. And the look on the incoming teacher's face was priceless. She was shocked in a good way. And she just looked around at the two of us and said, this class is incredible and I am so impressed.
Yeah.
You see how cool she thinks she is because she like even knows what, first of all, envy means non-binary. It's like annoying I even know that, but you see how cool she thinks she is and how it comes from such a narcissistic place. Like she thinks she is really that edgy ass bitch for even knowing what this is and teaching preschoolers about it. And the fact that this preschooler would even know to use a word like that is clearly because this person is teaching them about their own gender ideology. And that is disgusting. Preschool, remember, preschool.
Oh, my name's Josh. I use they, them pronouns in English, y en español, and I got a lot of questions like this. So how do I bring this up to my teacher? How do you talk to colleagues about it? How do people respond to you? So where I work, everybody was really receptive. They wanted to learn more about it. It's been a slow process.
Everybody's really receptive in the faculty or administration, because if you come out even thinking that this is wrong or want to talk about it, you get canceled, shut down, fired, lose your tenureship. Come on, man. Come on, man.
But they're learning more and they're integrating it. And this is across languages. So I feel super lucky. However, I know that's not the case for a lot of people. All I can say is that try to talk to your teacher about it and explain to them that this is what non-binary people are doing in the language, and that by not including language like this in the classroom, it's making people who are non-binary or maybe are non-binary and they don't know feel unsafe, and that it's actually transphobic and that they're excluding people's identity in the class.
Was there somebody in the background just there? I got my headphones on. Did I hear like a... Yeah. Fake people.
Classroom and making them not feel safe when using that language. So that's all I can say. It's really difficult if people are resistant to it, but we got to keep fighting.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the that person just said. I literally, that was like word vomit to me. I don't know what they said. Feel free to translate that in the comments for me. I don't really even know.
Ditto.
So as if the gender stuff wasn't enough for kids, especially there's also this trend of kids being locked in closets because they're not wearing masks properly.
It is the law by Governor Pritzker to let me out of this room. You can't lock me in a room. You can't lock me in here. Please let me out.
Oh, really?
Oh my
Holy cow.
gosh. The teacher was physically keeping this kid in the room. That is so.
Was that a teacher or like a guard out in the... Uh, let me see that again. Let me just see. I don't know. Hold on a minute. Oh, I don't know if I can go back a little bit. We'll see.
Disgusting. There's another one.
You'll be locked in this room.
Are you kidding?
How is this a thing? Like, I'm not sitting here trying to say this is something that's like extremely widespread. I don't know, but there's 2 videos from 2 separate schools of this happening. So you can only imagine that this is probably, you know, a microcosm, at least to an extent. And again, I would be fighting. Period.
Okay, so during third period, we have announcements and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So
I actually don't mind that. And that's how I grew up as well in the California school system, which is maybe different from, you know, other states or whatever. But, you know, I don't have any problem with a teacher saying that it's your choice.
Decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there. But I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, you know, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he like looks around, he goes, oh, that one?
Are you kidding?
So annoying. Like, it's not just the fact that like a rainbow flag is inherently bad or something. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm sure people can misconstrue that, but like the fact that this teacher is taking joy out of manipulating kids to pledging allegiance to a flag they may or may not even fully understand, and that the teacher is on TikTok laughing about how she's lying to her students. Again, I would be very, very upset if I was a parent. I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well as my second channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram because I post on there way more than I do on here. See how.
Thank you, Miss Blair White. That was pretty crazy. Well, I'm going to end mine too. But I'll tell you right now, man, I have to agree with her. If I was like my children are way above the pay grade now. They're fine. They understand it. They accept how, you know, people how they are. They're fine with that. I don't think they had to quite deal with it at that age, like you're seeing with kids, you know, 9, 10 and under. But yeah, if I was like President of the United States, I would get rid of the teachers unions. Drop me a comment down there below if you agree with that. And I would also have to say, biologically, all right, I think there has to be something to do with like maybe seniors of high school and under, that the teachers are only there not to be psychologists, but to teach their subject. I think that if a child has something, this would be, I'm the math teacher now, and everybody's walking out, class is over, and the student now, and let's say it's 10th grade, and let's say the student says to me, or even 8th grade, whatever grade, says to me, I saw something out in the schoolyard, or I saw something on TV, or my mom's friend was having a conversation, and it's about this, or it's about that. And the first thing I would do is say, well, number one, I think you should have a talk with your parents, but I would like you to see the guidance counselor and let her know or he know what you feel. And of course, you know, the caveat here is guidance counselors can't be, you know, counseling kids to, you know, what this subject's about. But I would say that if you're biologically a male and you're a teacher, you should come that way accordingly. I'm going to get fired for that. I know it. I'm going to get fired for that. But how else do you police? Number one, you can't have the principal in everybody's class. You can't get all of the administration to be in everybody's class. Although I would like to see if maybe cameras, I think if cameras can be up in Walmart, I think we can have cameras in each class, maybe in caddy corner, one in each corner, but caddy corner across from each other, so you get both angles, especially who's coming in and out. But yes, I would have to say, when people put the hashtag up, because I do it, of save our children, save the children, protect our children, all that stuff, first and foremost, the most safest place, other than our own homes as parents, the safest place should be their school. Absolutely. So on that, I would have to look into the teachers' unions, and I would have to look into ways that teachers present themselves and teach in their classes that keep it very, very dry. It can be entertaining. You could be a history teacher and come dressed as George Washington. That's fine. And I do believe all history should be taught. It shouldn't be erased. That's another video. But anyway, I'm glad you guys hung out with me. Like, subscribe, share me. And remember, it is very important we kiss, love, and hug our veterans too, because they fight for us, fight for our freedom. They did it yesterday and died, or they're doing it today, or they're growing up thinking they're going to get involved. And kudos to our vets. Kiss them, love them, and hug them. All right. I love you guys. I will see you on the other side.